Erik Ten Hag refuses to answer awkward question in Manchester United press conference. The Man United manager's post-match briefing ended with an unflattering comparison with the David Moyes season. Erik Ten Hag refused to respond to a question about the possibility of Manchester United suffering their worst season in the Premier League era at his post-match press conference after drawing with Bournemouth. United avoided what would have been a Premier League worst 13th defeat of the season at the Vitality Stadium, where Bruno Fernandes equalised twice to salvage a 2-2 draw. Newcastle leapfrogged United into 6th with their 4-0 lunchtime thrashing of Tottenham, and United have fewer points after 32 games than they did under David Moyes in 2013-14. United finished 7th that season, their worst league finish since they came 16th in the First Division in 1989-90, and Ten Hag walked out of his press conference when a possible repeat was raised. "I don't comment on that question," Ten Hag said. "That is not important in this moment. United have only won one of their past 7 league games, and their 4-game winless run is their joint longest of the campaign." Ten Hag again blamed the squad's injury list. "War Thunder. Play War Thunder now for free. Cross out. Shooter Action MMO. By Taboola sponsored links." Harry Maguire overcame a first-half issue to complete the full duration of the draw with Bournemouth, but 19-year-old Willy Kambwala was culpable for Dominic Solanke's opening goal and was inches away from conceding an added-time penalty. "So there's good players who's available," Ten Hag explained. "You see our back four, that's telling the story. We know our demand, but that tells absolutely the story. Especially if one of the players is struggling and we couldn't sub him as well as we are running out of the centre halves. We give all we can, but I am also realistic. When the full squad was there, we still could have high belief, but we will keep fighting also with the players who are available. You see high potential. But also young players make mistakes. If they have to perform every Premier League game, they have proved they can compete with the best teams at the highest level, but they have to do it consistently. That's the next step for young players." Erik Ten Hag told he can't play Manchester United defender due to strange rule. Man United's injury crisis has been an opportunity for their young defenders to make an impact for the first-team squad in the Premier League. Manchester United's young defender Sonny Aljofree is understood to be ineligible for the first team due to an agreement with National League club Altrincham. In February, Aljofree joined the playoff-challenging 5th-tier club on loan until the end of the season as part of a joint registration deal. The idea behind this is that the 19-year-old gains experience in competitive football while also benefiting from experience around Carrington and with the under-21s. However, the only issue is that, while Aljofree can play for the academy in the Premier League too, he cannot feature for the first team. When this deal was agreed upon, this would not have been seen as much of an issue, but the injury crisis at Old Trafford has severely affected Erik Ten Hag's defensive options. Lisandro Martinez, Johnny Evans, Raphael Varane, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, and Tyrell Malacia are all unavailable, meaning the youth team has been turned to help out. Willy Kambwala has made 7 Premier League appearances this season, while Harry Amas, Habib Ogunai, and Ethan Wheatley were all named on the bench in the draw against AFC Bournemouth. According to The Sun, Aljofree would have also been in contention for a place in the matchday squad against Liverpool in the FA Cup if it had not been for this rule. In the summer transfer window, it is expected that Ten Hag will look to strengthen his defence. Varane's contract expires at the end of the campaign, and it is unclear at this stage whether or not the option to extend his stay by a further year will be approved. Bruno Fernandes uses angry exchange with Onana and Ten Hag to help Manchester United at Bournemouth. Man United dropped more points in the Premier League and have dropped down to 7th after drawing with Brentford. Manchester United formed a huddle when they re-emerged for the second half. They are still a muddle. US **T, and you know you are, the Bournemouth denizens informed them. There was no direct response, and the defiant atmosphere in the away end suggested those from Manchester are well aware of that status. The United supporters are offering support that their team does not merit. They sang non-stop in the sunshine and at least avoided another defeat south of the M6. The players were greeted with a chorus of "United, United, United" by the away section at the contest's conclusion. Yet this was another nail in their league coffin. United did not succumb to a Premier League era record 13th defeat of the season, but that feels a matter of time with 6 matches remaining. They have won one of their past 7 league games. Erik Ten Hag, once an impassive observer in the technical area, is looking more frayed with every week. United continue to be mired in regression, devoid of an identity and structure. The only recognizable quality is their away days. Thousands will wake up hoarse on Sunday morning, and a more mutinous following would have long since turned against the manager. Ten Hag will cling on for the remainder of the season, but United are not changing. They conceded shortly after scoring again. Steve McClaren twice emerged in the technical area in added time with his hands on his head, bracing himself for the inevitable. Willy Kambwala was inches away from conceding a penalty that was downgraded to a free kick by the video assistant referee. Enes Ünal's goal-bound free kick ricocheted behind in the 98th minute. The Premier League is almost an afterthought for the United matchgoers, who sang with gusto about next week's FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Newcastle leapfrogged United with their lunchtime thrashing of Tottenham. United are likelier to be in the Europa Conference League at this rate. This was the worst first-half performance from a United side in, 6 days. Bournemouth unleashed 12 attempts at United's goal in the first 45 minutes, and most were excellent openings. Andre Onana stood motionless as the ball passed his post more than once. Milos Kerkez hit the crossbar and was more wasteful on the rebound, while Justin Kluivert volleyed straight at the United goalkeeper. Bournemouth's profligacy cost them what would have been a first domestic double against English football's most glamorous club. United have already conceded the most attempts at their goal in a season since records began. Ten Hag claims the fixation on the stat is ridiculous. United are ridiculous. United's mixed messages were as clear as the South Coast skyline, and mutiny started to simmer on the pitch, rather than in the stands. Bruno Fernandes and Onana bickered in the 7th minute over whether to go long or short from goal kicks, with Onana keenly loyal to his principles. Ten Hag ordered Fernandes to show some restraint. Fernandes refused, so Ten Hag gave him a ticking off. The United captain ended the disagreement by wagging his finger. Fernandes scored both of United's goals, taking his tally for the season to a creditable 11. Casemiro, perched on the halfway line, could not watch after United were awarded a penalty for Adam Smith's reflex handball. From 12 yards, Fernandes was a safe bet on Grand National Day, and he was serenaded again at full time. Alejandro Garnacho started his 30th successive United match, and the workload has become so onerous he was hooked for Ahmad at the interval. Within 10 minutes, Ten Hag was having to instruct Ahmad where to position himself. This was only Ahmad's 5th appearance of the campaign, and every time he has emerged off the bench United have been losing or drawing. His use has been so sparing he is not always going to be tuned to the same frequency. The furthest Onana ventured from his goal was to the dugout for a motivational timeout. He nestled his hands on the shoulders of Marcus Rashford and Rasmus Højlund and high-fived Harry Maguire. He did not make such flush contact with Kluivert's shot that breached his goal at the near post. Kambwala, on his 3rd start, lost his first 2 duels with Dominic Solanke and was sufficiently spooked for their next tussle. The 19-year-old panicked, lost his footing, and United were soon losing 1-0 to Bournemouth again through another Solanke opener. Maguire endeavoured to encourage Kambwala, and there was not enough of that from his other teammates. The strapping Solanke was a more awkward opponent than Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, or Mohamed Salah. Kambwala is not the first